survive those adaptations, right? So what kind of adaptations does he have on his body that might help him in the rainforest? Feathers, absolutely. He has feathers covering his whole body. Feathers are really lightweight, so it helps him be light enough to fly, but it also provides protection from the elements, and his coloration, believe it or not, is helpful to him. He's not really well camouflaged for living here in the Sacramento region. You'd be able to see him pretty easily up in our oak trees. But in the rainforest, there's a lot of really brightly colored fruits and flowers that he blends in with, that all of those bright colors help him camouflage. What else does he have on his body that might help him?
His beak?
His beak, absolutely. The beak is a very important adaptation for him. He can use that beak for cracking into really tough seeds or nuts out there in the wild, or breaking through the outer covering, the peels of fruit. He can also use his beak, and let's see if he'll show us, to climb. Can you climb? Show us what you can do. There you go. There you go. He can use his beak to climb up to trees, and now he is oh, you're not gonna do it? Sometimes he flips upside down like a bat. Today he decided no, apparently. He's still just a parrot today. But he can use that beak to pull his body weight up to other branches as well. Can you lift your whole body up with your mouth?
Nope.
Can you do a pull-up with your teeth?
Nope.
Hope not. Don't try it either. You'd probably break all of your teeth. But that beak is like a multi-tool. It helps him with a lot of different things. What else does he have on his body that helps him? Yes. His wings, absolutely. Can you show them your big wings? Julio, show them your big wings. Good job, Julio. He has those nice big wings to help him fly from tree to tree out there in the rainforest. He also can use those wings to make himself look a lot bigger and a lot scarier than he was before. So if a predator corners him and he feels like he can't get away, he can stick up those big wings. Good job. He can lean his head down really low, and he can open his beak, and then he can scream really loud. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's see if he'll do it for us today. Oh, he has to finish eating. He's very polite. He does not hug with his mouth full. Are you done? Okay. Ready? Scream. 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 That wasn't it. That was like a tiny squeak. Ready? Scream. Scream. Oh my gosh. There it was. He was building anticipation, everyone. Keeping you on your toes. Ooh, that was right in my ear. It's very loud. So if you were a predator and you thought, yeah, I'm gonna eat that parrot, and then you walk up and he sticks up his big wings and he just doubled his size and he screams really loud in your face, you might think twice about trying to eat that parrot, because he just got a lot bigger and a lot tougher than he was before. So those wings are very important. What else does he have on his body? Yes. Yeah, his feet, absolutely. He has 2 toes going forward and 2 toes going back. That's called zygodactylus, and it helps him grip onto the tree branch really well. He is a bird that does perch in trees, but he also climbs a lot in trees too. So having 2 toes forward and 2 toes back really helps him grab onto tree branches that are in different locations. So those are really important, and he's got those nice long nails to hold on to. So we have his beak, his wings, his camouflage/feathers, his nails. Anything else? What else does he have on his body that might help him? Yes. His eyes, definitely. So he has color vision. He is a prey animal, which means he gets eaten by a lot of different things out in the wild. And you can tell because he has his eyes on the side of his head. Predators will have their eyes on the front, but prey animals will have their eyes on the side so they can see a greater rotation around. But more importantly about his eyes are the stripes underneath his eyes, which is a very cool adaptation. Anyone know what they do? What do you think? You don't want to guess? What do you think they do? Good guess. Camouflage might break up his body shape, but they're actually for a different purpose. Have you ever seen baseball players or football players that put black stripes on their cheeks right here before they play a game out in the sun? That's what his black stripes are for. It's for sun protection, glare protection. So he can't wear teeny tiny parrot sunglasses out in the wild, right? So he has basically built-in sunglasses. They help redirect the sun so that it doesn't bounce off that white face into his eyes. Pretty cool. And then there's one more adaptation that I want to go over with Julio. It's pretty big on his body. Any ideas what it might be? Yep, his tail. He has a super long tail that provides balance to his really big beak. So he's got that nice long tail so that since his beak is kind of heavy, he doesn't just fall face forward. It kind of balances out his body weight. But also he uses that tail for steering. So when he's flying, he can kind of turn his tail one way and then directs him that way, or turn his tail this way and it directs him that way. So his beak, his stripes, his camouflage, his nails, his wings, and his tail. Lots of adaptations for living out in the rainforest. Now, before Julio goes away, we move on, one of the first questions we always get about Julio is, can he talk? And yes, he can. He can say hi and his name Julio. Those are the only two things he says when we ask, and that has like an asterisk at the end because I can ask him and he can choose not to. But in theory, he knows how to say those when I ask. He also knows how to say whatever, oh yeah, what's up. He says my name, Brooke, but he says it as if he's disappointed in me. He says Brooke. Like I've done something wrong, Brooke. So exasperating, Brooke. But the only things he says when I ask is hi or his name, so we'll see if he wants to do that. Say hi. What are you looking at? You got distracted. You looking at the flowers on her backpack? Say hi. Oh, good job. Did you hear that? He said hi. Good job, Julio. So we'll see if he wants to say his name after he's done eating. Remember, he's very polite. He doesn't talk with his mouth full. So let me bring him back up here so that he's ready to head back once we're ready to move on. But we'll wait and see if he wants to say hi or his name Julio for us. Some days his hi is very clear. He also has two different versions of hi. He has his professional speaking voice, which is hi. And then he has a very excited hi when he is super over the top excited and it's very girly. And he says, hi! This very high pitched hi voice. Are you ready? What's your name? What's your name? Did you forget it? It's Julio. What's your name? Julio. Julio. That was good. Sometimes Julio's a little bit clearer. Today it's Julio. That's fine. Good enough. So Julio learned all of those words from us. He was born and raised with people, so he grew up hearing all of the things that we say to him, and we say, hi, Julio, a lot. So he learned how to say that himself as well. He also will have one-sided phone conversations because he lives in the building where people, answer the phone. So he'll say, uh-huh, oh, okay, uh-huh. That's it. He just says, uh-huh, uh-huh, when he's by himself in his house. But Julio has some really great adaptations for the rainforest. However, we're going to move on to another habitat. So everyone say bye, Julio.
Bye,
Julio. And I'm going to put him right back here because next we are moving on to the desert habitat. Now, someone describe a desert for me. What does a desert look like? Yes. Super hot? Yep. It can also get very cold at night depending on the desert. Yes.
It has sand.
It does. Some deserts have sand. True. Yes. That's true. Can have very dangerous animals like venomous snakes and things. Yes. Yep, absolutely. What is the main quality that makes a desert a desert? Does anyone know? What is it? Oh, good one. Succulent plants. There are a lot of those. But that's not how you define a desert. Dry, exactly. That's the defining feature of a desert, is that it gets very, very little rainfall. So the animals that live there and the plants that live there, like cactus, have to have ways of kind of conserving that water. So our next animal is coming out just here, and we're going to talk about how she might survive in her desert habitat. So I'm going to put her in this little container right here. She's a little tortoise, a little pancake tortoise. And I'll walk her around so you can see her. And I'll come up close so you can see her up close, and she's kind of small. So she would live in Africa, in the deserts of Africa. And she's going to have things on her body that help her survive. Now, first off, why do you think she's called a pancake tortoise? You can just yell it out. She's super flat. She's super flat like a pancake. This specific pancake tortoise is actually named Waffle because she's very bumpy. So she has two sisters that she lives with. Their names are Flapjack and Bisquick. But because she was an extra bumpy pancake, we thought, well, what is like a bumpy pancake? A waffle. So she's named Waffle. So what does Waffle have on her body that might help her survive in a pretty harsh environment? Yeah, her shell, absolutely. The shell is very important. Turtles and tortoises are born with their shell, and it is part of their body. It grows from their backbone, and they're not ever able to leave it. So you would never see a turtle without a shell looking for like a bigger shell, like a hermit crab. That shell grows with them as a living part of their body. So that shell is their main protection from predators. She also is protected from predators because she is so flat. The reason why she's so flat is so she can wedge herself underneath rocks in the desert where she lives and predators can't pull her out because she can wedge herself so completely under there. So she's got that great shell. What else does she have on her body that might help her? Any other ideas? Yes.
Mouth with a beak.
Yeah, that's right. She has a mouth called a beak, like a bird's beak. And definitely that helps her. She eats all plants. She is an herbivore, so she's eating only plants in the desert. And she will eat a lot of those succulents, those cactuses and things, because it has a lot of water inside the plant. So she can actually get all of the water that she needs from those plants that she eats by using that really strong beak that she has to break into those plants. Yep, good one. There's two other adaptations that I want to talk about. Anything else that she has that might help her survive? What do you think?
Her feet.
Yeah, her feet. She's got long nails on those feet. Did you get it? Sorry. It kept moving. She has long nails on those feet, and that actually helps her kind of dig her way under those rocks, but also helps her to be a pretty good climber. Her legs are really flexible, and so she can use those legs and those nails to climb over some of the terrain that she finds in the desert. And then final thing, her coloration is very different than that parrot, right? If she were to pull her head and her legs into her shell and just sit there not moving, what does she look like?
A rock.
Sand or a rock, right? And do any animals eat sand and rocks?
No.
No. Well, some actually birds eat little rocks and a little bit of sand, but it's not very common. They're not going to be seeking out a big rock to eat. So she's got great camouflage for living in the desert, but it looks very different than Julio's camouflage. Pretty cool adaptations. But let's move on. We're going to leave the desert and we're going to head to our last habitat, which is the savannas or the grasslands, still in Africa. So we went from South America to Africa, and we are going to see our next animal, which is very different and has very different adaptations. And I will bring her around so you can see her up close because she's also small. Hi, are you ready? Yep, she's a hedgehog.
Oh, it's
So I'm going to bring her around. I'm going to put a little bit of some worms in her house for her so she can go search for them. And you can see her using those adaptations. So this is Cricket. And Cricket is an African pygmy hedgehog. And they live in the grasslands of Africa, where just like that tortoise, they have to have things on their body. Oh, she's trying to find the worms. You found one, but then you didn't eat it. You're full? She's full of worms, apparently. Oh, no. You're not going to eat it? I think you are. I think you're all too distracting. She'd rather look at you. So she has to have things on her body that help her survive in the grasslands. What kinds of things does a hedgehog have? Yes. Their nose, definitely. So she is a nocturnal animal, meaning she comes out at night and she sleeps all day long. Cricket here is used to having a day job at the zoo, so she's used to being awake during the day. But in the wild, they are nocturnal. So she relies on her sense of smell to find her food and watch out for predators. Are there street lights in the wilds of Africa?
No.
No. So she doesn't really rely on her eyesight. Sorry, turn it the right way. She doesn't really rely on her eyesight out in the wild. She has to rely on those other senses. So she has a great big nose. Perfect adaptation. What else does she have on her body?
She has her spines.
She has her spines, definitely. Now, how many of you have heard that porcupines can shoot their quills? That is a myth. They cannot actually shoot their quills, but you see it in movies. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Sing, or Sing 2, but Ash the porcupine in that movie shoots her quills out into the audience. Porcupines cannot shoot their quills, but they can leave their quills behind in a predator. So for instance, if I was a hungry, or if your teacher was a hungry lion, and I was a porcupine, you look like a hungry lion. I could shake my quills and stab them into your teacher, and then I could kind of leave them behind, and now she's got a face full of quills. So, porcupines can do that. Hedgehogs can do neither of those things. Poor hedgehogs just have to roll up into a ball and hope that they are spiky enough that things don't want to eat them. So she rolls up into a ball and then she just stays there. Has anyone ever played the Sonic the Hedgehog game on Sega? And Sonic rolls into a ball and then he keeps on rolling, right? And goes over cliffs and up walls and things. Once she has rolled into a ball, she can't move anymore. She's done. She just sits there in a ball and hopes that she's spiky enough to keep those predators away. So, she's got those spikes. She's got that great big nose. There's one other adaptation that she has that's pretty big on her body, that helps her, especially at night. Anyone know what it is? Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess her hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Her ears. So she's got a great big nose and great big ears, and those are her two primary senses that she uses at night when she's moving around in the dark. Last thing that she does, and it's a great reason why hedgehogs do not make good pets, and you're probably all thinking hedgehogs are super cute and I'm for sure going to get one as a pet. First of all, they're illegal in California, so you cannot have a hedgehog in California as a pet. But they do something pretty gross called anointing. And that's another way that they defend themselves out in the wild. They will find something really smelly. Maybe it's fungus, maybe it's bugs, maybe it's the poop of another animal. They will chew on it for a little bit. They'll mix that poop with their saliva, get it all nice and frothy, and then they'll spit it all over their body, making them smell truly horrible. So if that predator does come up and thinks, I could probably bite through those spikes, I could probably handle it, and then they give her a sniff, she smells like lion poop. And they're like, nah, never mind. Doesn't seem worth it. So it's another adaptation for surviving in the wild. Oh, yeah, she also pooped. Another good reason why they don't make great pets. We clean their house every single day. And one day we thought, this is a crazy amount of poop. How much poop actually is it? And we weighed out the poop from one hedgehog from one single night, and it almost weighed the same amount as the hedgehog. In one night. So in one single night, they poop pretty much their own body weight. Every single night. So they're a pretty high maintenance animal to take care of. So actually Cricket and two of our other hedgehogs that we have here came to us from animal shelters in California because someone had them as a pet illegally and just dumped them off because I don't know the reason why, but they are very, very high maintenance pets. They're not just super simple animals. They require a lot of care and attention, and they're also sometimes a little gross. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put Cricket back because even though we visited all three of our habitats, we are not done yet because I have one more part of our show before we move on. Bye, Cricket. All right. Ooh. Let me see if I can put her away. Oh, you made a big, huge mess in here. Thanks. Thanks, Cricket, for that big mess. Good thing she went second and not first. All right, so I don't know if we have talked enough about adaptations yet before I send you on your way. So our next portion of the show is we are going to take one of you and create the perfectly adapted animal. We're going to give you all of those adaptations that we talked about, and we're going to make it so that you could survive in every habitat. So I need a volunteer from the audience. Here's the thing though, here's the thing. There's disclaimers. You're going to come up here on stage, and I'm going to give you very silly looking adaptations. Your friends are most definitely going to laugh at you. We're all going to laugh together because you're going to look very, very, very silly. All right. You on the end? Okay. You look like you're up for it, and then they're all pointing at you too. So I feel like you'd be a safe bet. All right. What's your name? Cameron. All right. Cameron's our brave volunteer. Can you put your bag and your sweatshirt on the rock right behind you? Because I'm going to have to give you a lot of things, and they're going to be in the way. All right, Cameron, thanks so much for volunteering. You can come stand front and center. Okay, you're comfortable with looking a little silly. Great. All right. So now we need to give Cameron all of those adaptations that we saw on the animals. So what was the first animal we saw? Just yell it out.
Parrot.
The parrot. That's right. And what did the parrot have?
Beak.
A beak. Yep. You're going to need a beak for sure. All right. So let me get out my box of adaptations here. We're going to need to get you a beak. All right, now this is a pelican beak. I understand that it's a pelican beak. But you know what? It's a beak. Okay, perfect. Starting off strong. What else does that parrot have? Yell it out.
Tail.
A big tail, that's right. You don't have a tail, I don't think. So we're going to need to give you a tail. So this is going to go around your waist. It's Velcro. You wear it like a belt. There you go. Yep. Perfect. I know, sorry, it's made for very small children. All right, now give it a little shake. Shake your tail feathers. Nice. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay. Oh, wings. I heard wings. That's right. We need some colorful camouflage and wings. Here you go. Hand through there. And hand through there. Perfect. Perfect. All right. We've got some wings and some nice rainforest colors. What else? Claws. We need some big, long claws. That's right. So, excellent. You're doing great. What's happening? You lost your beak. Oh, man. Try again. There we go. beak down. Okay, come stand front and center again. Here we go. And claws. Perfect. All right, stay there, don't move. What else does the parrot have? Oh, feathers. We've got some feathers on the wing. The weird stripes under their eyes. That's right. We're not going to paint your face. That'd be mean. But we are going to give you some super cool sunglasses to protect you from the glare in the rainforest. Okay. Was there anything else? Did we miss anything? I think we got it all. Okay. So let's move on. We've got our rainforest adaptations. Now we need our desert adaptations. A shell, that's right. We need a shell like the tortoise. So, here is our shell. It's going to go over your wings. One arm, perfect. 2 arms, perfect. All right, we've got a shell, nice. Oh, we're not there yet. What else did that tortoise have? A beak, which we've got. We're going to stick with the pelican beak. We got the big claws too. There's one more thing that made it so that predators didn't eat it. Ooh, next one.
Shell.
A shell?
Whatever. What is it called again? Oh, right. They can retract into their shell.
Oh, good one. And when they bring themselves into their shell, what do they look like?
A rock.
A rock. So we need some desert camo. We need some desert camo. So I'm going to give you some different camos to help you blend in the desert. We're gonna, oh no, your tail fell off. Oh no. Oh, everything's falling down. All right. Here, I'll help you with that. Is that good? Okay. Tail fell off. This animal's falling apart. Okay, perfect. So we're going to do this 80s style, which most of you will not get the reference for that. But here we go. Camouflage. He's disappeared before your very eyes. He's not there yet. Where did he go? Cameron's gone. Okay, so we did all of our tortoise adaptations. Final animal. What do we need? Spikes. We need to become a spiky hedgehog. So you are not spiky enough. We're going to give you some spikes. Here you go. Perfect. Now you are spiky. Okay, what else does that hedgehog have? Big nose. That's right. We need a big nose. So your nose is not big enough. So I'm going to do, okay, you've never seen this in the wild, but this is where we're at now. We're going to do the forehead nose. There we go. Forehead nose. And spikes back on. Final thing. Final thing. What do we need?
A picture.
Definitely need a picture. What else does that hedgehog have? It's big. Yep. Cameron needs some big ears. Absolutely. So we're going to give you some bigger ears. All right, everyone. We've made the perfectly adapted animal. Wait a second. I feel like we've done something wrong here. Have you ever seen an animal that looks like this?
No.
Yes? It's Cameron. Here it is. It's called the Cameron. The first one ever here at the Sacramento Zoo. I don't think Cameron would survive anywhere. I don't think Cameron would survive anywhere. What did we do wrong?
Color.
Color? That's right. We combined all of the adaptations from every single animal. Does every animal have every adaptation? No. You wouldn't see an animal that has a shell and wings and 2 different kinds of camouflage and a beak and also a big nose and also big ears. It's a very strange thing. Animals only have the adaptations that they need for the environment where they live. So I'm going to go ahead and make the perfectly adapted animal now. So you can let that tail go. Go ahead. We're going to take all of this off. We're going to make the perfectly adapted animal.
The nose.
There we go.
The nose.
Take the shell off. Take the wings off. And let me grab your claws. And we made the perfectly adapted Cameron. Thank you so much. You can go ahead and have a seat. Do you think humans have... Oh, yeah, your stuff. Sorry. Oopsie. So, do you think humans have adaptations?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of our adaptations?
Legs.
Legs are great. What else do we have? We have hair. Is that what you said? Hair is also great. Hearing is good too. What are some human-specific ones? Do you know? What do you think?
Thumbs.
Thumbs, that's
No
right.
idea.
Not very many animals have these opposable thumbs. That is pretty unique to humans, not completely, But these thumbs are amazing. If ever you want to see just how much you use your opposable thumbs, have your parents tape your thumbs to the side of your hand on some weekend day and see how long you can go without those thumbs. There would be no texting. You'd have to text like this.
I text like that anyway.
There would be no video games. How would you play a dual joystick video game?
I play Minecraft for a living.
Pencil. It would be very tough. And finally,
Oh.
our super big brains. Humans have very, very large brains for the size of our body, which has enabled us to create all of the things that we need so that we can survive in basically every habitat. Even concrete? To survive in concrete? Well, you'd be a little bit too big, I think. Well, I want to thank you all so much for joining us here at the zoo for your special Survive and Thrive show. I hope you have a wonderful time when you're out in the zoo. As you're walking around and seeing the animals, look at their adaptations and try to determine what things they have to survive in their habitat. So thank you all so much, and now I will turn your attention back to your teacher for your next instructions.
Bye.